Geeta, getting developers to use the same platform the operators use for observability has proven impossible for most enterprises and organizations in general. How did you build a developer focused observability platform? Why do developers like to use your platform?
I think actually when we started out, we realized that a lot of developers weren't actually using a solution like Humio. We wanted to encourage more usage of this. And also, we found that once we were able to provide the data in Humio to developers, when either whether it was in production, but also in test environments, that in the development process to be able to see how your changes are affecting the performance of your solution or your service live. It's a very, very powerful tool to actually be able to see what's going on. Also connecting sort of the operations team and the dev team. So like, again, DevOps being a real big part of observability, they're actually having the same similar context. So your operations team and your dev team is observing the solution in one
Yeah.
place.
And both of them really learn to understand how the software is used. The developers see how is my code used? Is it used at all? What is the experience of the users? You can is maybe the users getting angry about something, and the operators also see, "Hoof! If I'm not careful with that in the system, then there's an important user group. Their experience will deteriorate." Right? So
Yeah, we found that with the real-time capabilities and Humio again being index-free, you get your data in at sub-second latency. So you're watching something live, and we like to talk about understanding what your normal system is and what is outside of normal. And as a developer or operations team, you understand how your application is performing at normal situation, but also outside of norm. So when you've got the spikes or errors or issues that are hitting, you actually might be able to see it earlier than when it really spikes and is a downtime scenario.
that's fascinating. You can really travel back in time and still see the past in real time, right? Instead of an aggregation. And that gives you a lot more resolution to figure something out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, historical data is very, very interesting to find patterns. So sometimes, often, we may have had a problem, let's say a month ago, but now for some reason, maybe there's a big spike in shopping or on the online, usage of your platform. Maybe you want to go back and actually take a 90-day look at the logs. And so that's a very easy maneuver in Humio because we do some heavy compression to make it really easy and efficient to store large volumes of historical data.
Yeah.
So you don't need to use another system to go back in time.
Yeah. And usually, maybe I can go back in time, but at a much decreased resolution of the data. And then I learn a lot less. And my machine learning
Yeah.
model.
Or you're waiting very long. I
Yeah.
think that's the big thing is the streaming capabilities make the wait times shorter. And so that's really trying to make Humio accessible, easy to use for developers in those scenarios.
And how about cost? The reason is for a lot of products to not store all of this data is just the storage cost and the ability to to tie it all together. I mean, it needs very expensive hardware infrastructure. How did you pull it off that with Umio that's possible?
Yeah, so Humio is, we built the solution and let's say, the engine of Humio ourselves. And a lot of it is, it's a purpose-built, um, you know, time series database that is really built for logging. So we took a very specific approach to a specific problem and putting a lot of the elements in to solve a very specific use case. So that's where index free, making it really easy to get data in without heavy indexing. Streaming is also a very, very relevant part of how we offer real-time availability, sub-second query responses, and live feel. And then this historical data being really compressed at 15 to 20x the data size. So then you've got this very, very efficient way of storing historical data because oftentimes context may be farther than what you're seeing live, and you need to go back in time, as we were talking about before.